everyone, so today I'm bringing you my March TBR. It is quite hefty, although one is a maybe and one is a reread, so I'm hoping it's not too bad for me. So the reread is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I'm reading this with a bunch of other booktubers, but it is Elena's first time reading Pride and Prejudice. She was buddy reading Vanity Fair with Ange and I, and she really didn't enjoy it, and she was like, are all classics like this? And we're like, no, trust us, they're not. And so we suggested that we buddy read Pride and Prejudice together because we both knew what we were getting, like Ange and I both knew what we were getting into, and this way we can kind of direct Elena to some better classics that are not quite so long-winded as Vanity Fair. So we're going to be reading this in the first week of March, so I'm excited to read it. I actually didn't read it this September. I ended up reading Northanger Abbey, I think? Yeah, I reread Northanger Abbey instead. I normally reread it at least once a year. I absolutely love Pride and Prejudice, but I felt like a change this year and I reread Northanger Abbey. So the big chunker this month is Bleak House by Charles Dickens, which I'm reading with Yamini, Ange, and Helene. I'm really excited for this. I really enjoy Charles Dickens. Like, I read A Tale of Two Cities. I'm excited to get another one of his chunkers off my TBR. As you guys know, I bought a lot of these editions, so I'm feeling a little, not stressed, but like I'm like, I should read more of these. I have read Great Expectations by him, and I've read A Christmas Carol and A Tale of Two Cities, which I'll be reviewing next week. And yeah, so Bleak House seems like the next step. It's quite long. I think it's, oh, I almost just dropped the books in my lap. It's over 1,000 pages, so it's quite a chunker. I'm really looking forward to digging into this. We're going to take this nice and slow, like Ange, Elena, and I did for Vanity Fair last month, and only read about 50 pages a day, and kind of so we can read other things and not be overwhelmed with such a chunker. This one will also be no surprise to anybody, which I'm reading with Yamini and Ange. Shocker. We're reading Thomas Hardy's Jude the Obscure. We are trying to get through roughly a Hardy a month, and next month Ange's baby is due, so we probably won't be reading Thomas Hardy. So we're getting through this one earlier on in the month just in case. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This is one of his sadder works. I've heard this was recommended to me by actually one of my TAs when I took an English course early on in my undergrad, and I took an Introduction to British Literature, and we had a lot in common, so she suggested I read Thomas Hardy, and I'm finally getting around to it. Did email her the other day to tell her I was finally getting through all the Thomas Hardy, and I was finally getting to Jude the Obscure. So I have heard that this is one of the most heartbreaking ones, and so I'm kind of like girding myself for that, because yeah, Hardy knows how to like sucker punch you with the feels, all the feels for Hardy. So I'm really looking forward to this one, even though it'll be quite sad. My booktube recommends this month is from Taylor from Let's Get Lost in Words, and it is The Enchanted by Renee Delafield. Or Denfield, sorry, I thought there was a L there. It's I don't really know what this is about. This was all over the place like a year or two ago, and they had really nice editions with like deckled edges. Those are all gone. They were like nice and blue, and so this was the only copy my local bookstore had. So I picked this up. She recommended this, and so I'm looking forward to this. I'm actually reading this with a couple other booktubers because they also wanted to read it when I mentioned in passing that I was reading this, and they were like, yeah, let's do a buddy read. I was like, okay, that's good. I like discussing books in buddy reads as well. Oh, this is something. For the narrator locked inside an ancient prison, waiting for death, life is full of magic, from the golden horses that stampede underground to the tiny men who hammer away inside the stone walls. So this sounds interesting. Definitely outside of my regular wheelhouse, definitely a more modern fiction. This is why I'm really enjoying the BookTube Recommends project, just because it's kind of forcing me to read books I wouldn't normally read and explore authors I wouldn't normally explore. I find I tend to get a little bit in a rut with my classics. I mean, I really like my classics. So it's kind of nice to be forced to be out of that comfort zone, but yes. And then the maybe one, and I really want to read this and I really want to get to this, but these are a lot of books. This is a lot of pages to get through, and sometimes I feel like when I overcommit myself with buddy reads and with like setting a TBR, I get a little bit stressed out and feel like I don't have any freedom or flexibility, so I try not to set too many. So if I get these all done and I feel like reading it, I will join a buddy read on this, and this is the Dud Avocado by Elaine Dundee. This is actually back in print. But I got this for Christmas from Nicola over at Robotnik. She picked it up for me because she saw it and knew that I wanted it and knew that it was out of print at the time, but it's back in print, so I will, as always, leave a link in the description down below to Book Depository. And yeah, I don't really know what this is about. It's just one of those VMC designer editions, and it's a more modern classic. I quite have enjoyed all the VMC modern ones that I've read so far. So I really want to read this with other people, but it's just, there's a lot to read and I kind of don't want to overcommit myself. So I'm gonna say maybe on that one. That one's definitely a maybe. So those are the books I am planning on reading in March. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are planning on reading any books. I'm trying to get through some more thicker books this year. I feel like I've been fairly successful with that. Just because I found last year even with just a thing like a goal of 50, I was feeling really stressed out. I'm really enjoying having a really low goal and not really focusing on that and being able to focus on rereads and being able to focus on really chunky books, and I've just kind of really enjoyed that. So I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!